stuff, but it really can come across as egotistical, and it can actually be egotistical at times, and there is a very fine line, guys. Now I'm underlining this for you, a very fine line between being assertive and being completely delusional. You know, some people are on this path, I kid you not, they really can lose the plot if they just take it too far. So you really need to be careful with that, and you need to be as grounded. It's true, right, Laurie? You need to be as grounded as much as you have your head up in the sky and the stars. So you need to be very careful with that one. Keep that ego in check. It's very, very important. The other thing about keeping the ego in check, there are many who believe that they are saviours, you know, because they're on this awakening path, and, you know, the new awakened self sometimes tends to think that they are better than the rest. Watch out for that one. There's a lot of like gurus and teachers that rest in this department, and it really is ugly. I really don't like this at all. So you need to look out for hierarchy that is hidden in those that awaken. Isn't that really, it's a real dichotomy, wouldn't you say, you know, because you could very well be awakening, but you may feel that you're like at the pinnacle and everybody else is below you, and that you know better, and those that are below you are worse. It happens all of the time, all of the time. Being a saviour is an illusion in itself. It is, absolutely it is. And perhaps these are archetypes that we may need to heal in the self. If you go to my YouTube channel, I do have a very specific, there's 2 YouTube videos, one where we discover which are our dominant archetypes, and the other one is how to heal them and to bring them into balance, okay? And the saviour archetype is very common amongst those who are on a spiritual path, on an awakening process. I follow your YouTube daily. Thank you so much, my darling. I do appreciate that. That's wonderful. I hope that it is helping you and that you are enjoying it. Thanks very much. Beautiful. So I think the ego one is a real important one. Yeah, we need to keep that in check. So my fourth point here, Truth Crew, is it's very, very easy. Thank you, my darling. It's very, very easy to fall into a depression or a dark night of the soul when you are on a journey of the awakening process, or when you've reached a certain level, like you've completed like a chapter in your awakening process, and then you get to this point and you're like, holy shit, now what? Now what do I do? And you just feel like you are literally in the abyss, yeah? Now, I have scoped specifically about the Dark Night of the Soul, and that is in my Soul Disclosure series, and again, that's on my YouTube, you can check it out. But a Dark Night of the Soul, just in real brief, is when we go into this place that is beyond depression, complete desolation, desperation, and it feels like there's no way out. And that can happen when you're in the process of awakening, and I kid you not, it is not a nice place to be. That episode was great. Thanks very much. I enjoyed doing it. Thank you. So now, can we avoid it when we're on the path of awakening? I think old school mystery school traditions would say that you cannot avoid it. I would beg to differ and say that we can if we have a certain leverage of awareness before we've even gotten there. So if you have that leverage of awareness, it means that you may be able to prevent it from happening. I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying that it's doable. I didn't have those tools in place, so it's happened to me twice in my life. And it's just awful, actually. So it could be the dark night of the soul, or it could just be depression. So what we can do is we can help ourselves by avoiding absorbing collective amnesia frequencies. I'm going to say that again. It happened to me too, and I agree it was awful. Isn't it just horrid? It's just like the worst thing ever. So I'm underlining this for you guys, very important. Avoid absorbing collective amnesia frequencies. And you can do this by cleansing your field regularly, and you observe the truth as opposed to allowing yourself to suck it up into your field, into your electromagnetic field. And I know it's not easy because a lot of us are empaths. So what I suggest there is do some deep disclosure on your empath stuff. And if you bring that into some kind of harmony and balance, then it means that you are eliminating the possibility of descending into this kind of deep depression that we might feel over the state of humanity and the state of the world and the state of galactic history, and it can go on and on forever. And it does go on forever. And this is why it's very, very difficult when you are on a path of truth. You've got to really know how to handle it, you know. And I say this to a lot of my clients and students: are you ready to handle the truth? Because it's not a joke. It's not just, oh yeah, you know, it's the truth, it's wonderful and I know. It's not that easy, you know. Once you know it, what are you going to do with it, you know? Definitely not a joke. Absolutely, darling. So, cleanse your field frequently, okay? Very important. It's been a journey. Indeed it has, absolutely. It's hard to harness the truth. It is. But I'll tell you what, if you go to my channel, there's lots of deep truth exposure right there for you. And there's plenty of videos to get you onto the path of it, if that really is what it is that you would like to do. What is the truth? Very, very deep question, because there are many aspects and facets of it depending on what area, what topic you are talking about, okay? So it can be loads of things, but you know what? I'm going to write that down. What is the truth? And what I'll do is I'll scope about all the different facets on all the different types of truth that it is that we would like to access. What do you think? I'm going to write that one down. What is truth? Give me a sec, because I'll forget otherwise. There's so many topics that go through my awareness that I like to scope about, right? Guido, how you doing? What's going on, honey? Nice to have you. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Absolutely. So what is truth? We're going to scope about that in the very, very near future for you. Okay, so here comes the next one. It's the fifth way, how to deal with the new awakened self. This is our subject for those of you who have just rolled in. Thanks for joining. Now, this is very, very important, one that I have experienced, and here we go. Everyone seems to have a different version. Right, so I'm not talking about our individual truths. How are you doing, Guido? Lovely to have you, hun. I am talking about immutable, universal truths. This is the kind of truth that just is, whether you believe in it or you don't. This is what Fusion 7 Healing Mystery School is actually all about, okay? It's about fundamental, deep, cosmic truths that are eternal and infinite and has nothing to do with your own version of truth, okay? Or mine, or yours, or anybody else's. So that's the kind of truth that I speak of. Now, point number 5, Truth Crew, is not to confuse your professional relationship. Thank you. Do not confuse your professional relationships and transactions with so-called spirituality. Some that sleep or are full or fake spiritual will take advantage of that. Okay, so be very careful. I'm not saying to not apply you know, a higher level of wisdom to the way that you interact with people, whether it is personally or professionally. But what I am saying is be careful that it doesn't overlap to a personal level where people can use that for leverage to take advantage of you in a 3D humane way, okay? There's a vast difference between the two, and some people have tried that one on me as well. It actually has happened, and we do really need to be careful with that, okay? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you. And point number 6, guys, this is quite important as well, because there's so much knowledge out there. You know, I think that, you know, you must have heard this before, that we're kind of starving. There's tons of information out there, but we are starving for true wisdom. And of course, it's all out there right now. And so we need to be very selective in what it is that we listen to, what we watch, what we take into our space. Hey, Azerbaijan, I can never say it properly, please excuse me. Welcome, my love. And so we need to be able to take it in increments. If you don't take it in increments, what can happen is your fuse can blow. That's what can happen. You can basically short circuit. Do you know what I mean? So we need to be very, very careful. Take it in increments. Sometimes we need to take breaks, step away from it. Like myself, there was a time when I wanted to step back a little bit and take a break from Periscope and live streaming and whatnot, and I did. And sometimes we get back on it, and sometimes we learn. We need to empty the vessel, then fill it again. You rock. Followed you. What's your YouTube channel? Oh, thank Nessa Creation. It's Helen Christodoulou, which is my Christian name. Wonder if that's my issue with electronics. Yeah, you know, could be. Didn't think of it like that, Laurie, right? So sometimes if we're like on overload, you know, we need to sort of like pull back and empty the field of the, you know, the excess energy, whether it be electric energy or whether it be magnetic energy, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So empty the vessel before you fill, okay? Otherwise we will short circuit. So this one could be applicable to you, Laurie, my darling. And the seventh, and perhaps the most important one, Truth Crew, you're very welcome, hun, is to avoid the temptation to fall back into ignorance. It can be very tempting, as the way to truth is oftentimes a very challenging one. And believe me, guys, believe me, I have seen it happen. I've seen it happen with clients, I've seen it happen with students, I've seen it happen with friends, and I've seen it happen with family, you know. They get so close to the truth that they feel that their wings get burned, they've got too close to the flame, and they just back off and retreat. And they would rather be bathing in their ignorance than to be able to face off with the truth. I've seen it happen for real. And it was even part of my cosmic forecast for April, and then I saw it unfold in front of my very own eyes. Yeah. So there are people who are on a path to truth, and yet they do actually reverse. They relapse back into amnesia. Okay. So we need to resist that. We need to pluck up our courage and be a brave heart and really charge forward with our, you know, awakening path. We need to do that, right? So what I always say, and this is what I'm going to round it off with, Truth Crew, is that I would rather be slapped by the truth than be kissed by a lie. So guys, this wraps up of the session of how to deal with the new awakened self. And I do hope that this content was of value to you. And if you feel that it was, then don't forget to share it on with your friends and community, and share it and follow if you are not. Feel like fear calls me to do that by building a bridge? Yes, I understand that. And fear can have that effect on us, you know. You love the painting. I painted it, Guido. I did that. Do you like it? I painted it many years ago. Let me get out of the way so you can see. There it is. Yeah. Painted it many years ago. I don't get much time to do my painting these days. I'm hoping though that maybe one day I will. Yeah, that was even before I woke up. So you see, it came out in my art, I guess, right? I always had this fascination with spheres and energy before I even knew what on earth was going on. So yeah, I did that many years ago. Yeah, I think it was maybe 2007 or something. Yeah, no problem. So guys, thank you very, very much for being here. I hope you watched my little pre-scope, because it was about the astrogenetics that I was going to finalize with you. Please watch it so that you can be informed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. No, thank you. No, I thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Guido. Hey, when are you and I going to do like a thing together? We need to do a thing together, don't we? It's been a long time. My baby breasts hungry. Oh my God, one of those. All right, you're off. Okay, cool. Yes, so Guido, send me a message and let's sort something out. We need to do, I think we need to do a joint something or another, a joint scope or a joint blab or something. Yeah, we've said it before, but I need to say it again. So with that, Truth Crew, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. May the truth always be the guiding force that is with you, even though it's a tough one. But it's the only way to go, really. Because if there isn't truth, then what is there? So may the guiding truth always be with you. Imaste, be ye. It means we are primary source. Take care. Lots of love. I will be back Friday at exactly